once was a woman, her name was Delight, a Wisconsin girl with a fire in her eyes. At Jensen Hardware, she'd tell the big men plain, use the spittoon, boys, don't spit on the floor again. Small town Cushing, where the neighbors all knew, if you picked your nose or if you farted, they knew that too. She was tough as a fence post, but warm as the sun, and somehow she made room for everyone. The army took her west when the war was on, a young girl with a typewriter, then California dawn. She met a man named Trigg somewhere along the way, and she loved that man more with every passing day. He was the one she worshipped, the one she called home, the one she believed she'd never walk alone. But in 1984, her whole world changed, and she kept her chin high when the funeral came. She never broke, she never gave in. She carried her sorrow underneath her skin. She'd say Trigg was waiting, just like he said he'd be. And 32 years was nothing to eternity. She'd tell you she was fine, and she'd bake you some pie with a house full of stories and his memory in her head. She spent her whole life giving love away, and I still hear her voice when I think of her today. She stood up for children, she stood up for wives, for women who'd been hurt and were fighting for their lives. She spoke for the helpless, collected her awards, then went and sat beside the lonely in a nursing home ward. Pleasant Ridge knew her footsteps, and plenty of others did too. She'd visit folks who had nobody else to come through. She wasn't much for cooking, but baking was her art. Cookies, bread, and something warm enough to mend a heart. She'd drive from Sacramento, that old Cutlass Sierra, across the Carquinez, then I-5 through the terror, and a woman on the highway in a car she kept too long. Just because she missed us and she wanted to come home, she'd stay for a few days. We'd gather in the room, tell the same old stories, make a little more room. Sometimes we'd watch a movie, mostly we'd just talk, and she'd fill the whole house up with the sound of her laugh. She never broke, she never gave in. She carried her sorrow underneath her skin. She'd say Trigg was waiting, just like he said he'd be. And 32 years was nothing to eternity. She'd tell you she was fine, and she'd bake you some pie with a house full of stories and his memory in her head. She spent her whole life giving love away, and I still hear her voice when I think of her today. And every Sunday that I stayed at her place, I'd go sit beside her in that little church pew. I didn't always understand what she believed, but I understood it mattered to her. And she believed God was waiting, and Trigg would be there too. So I went because she wanted me there, and that's what you do for someone you love. She lived by herself for more than 30 years, with a lifetime of memories and a few honest tears. She'd tell Lo and Lena jokes and laugh till she cried. Then she'd tell you, oh, for Pete's sake, with that Midwestern pride. She grew old without surrendering who she was, even when the house got quiet, even when it got tough. And when they finally moved her somewhere she could be cared for, she hated every minute, but she never made a fuss. She wanted to die at home, she wanted to be near him. She said she wanted to go where she knew she'd find him. Then one night she called me and her voice sounded tired. She said, I don't think I can make it another night. I told her it was okay. I told her I loved her. She didn't make it another night. There once was a woman, her name was Delight. She fought for the broken and she lived her whole life with her chin held high and her heart open wide, believing the people she loved never really died. And somewhere beyond what I can see tonight, a woman named Delight walked into the light. And if Trigg was waiting like he promised he'd be, I hope he held her close the way she always believed. There once was a woman, her name was Delight.